very differently about how we approach supporting our children. Okay, so that's going to be part of this, is I want to challenge the norm to get us thinking differently and approaching our solutions from a systemic perspective. And the reason I have this umbrella is here we have kind of the global view, and let's look at homework from a global perspective. Homework is kind of part of this bigger context. We see homework as part of our children's responsibility, right? It's something that they are responsible to manage every single day. But it's not just the responsibility, it's also part of your expectations, right? And if we get to kind of one of the core deficits in ADHD or executive function deficits, it's purposeful decision making towards a meaningful goal. It can be one of the hallmark deficits. Now, I put this umbrella up here to highlight that it's your expectations that we have to focus on first as we look at their expectation to complete and manage homework. But let's not look at just homework. Let's look at other categories as well. Let's look at routines. And let's see routines from a perspective of routine is a way of, if you want to follow someone's routines, you're able to see where their priorities are, right? How they control their life. Are there routines? Are there no routines? Is it just absolute haphazard disorder? So routines can then be matched with things like chores. Chores have a time and place for the most part. So does homework. Homework is a chore. It's something that's their responsibility, like taking out the trash, like mowing the lawn. What are the other chores that we can talk about today? Are there other responsibilities that become a problematic topic because I have to nag to get them done, right? I see the symptoms of executive function deficits play out in this inability to manage not just the chore of homework, but the chore of other responsibilities, right? We want to acknowledge those, or else we're not really focusing on the big picture. We're just focusing on a Band-Aid and not systemic support. Laundry as another one. So let's also look at expectations, responsibilities, and commitments. Commitments have a time stamp on them typically, right? They have a place and a time. So commitments can be sports schedule. So commitments can be something that requires planning, time management. And commitments can also be a way to help us look at the difference between and differentiating study time and free time. Right, so within this within the context of homework, I want us to start to see homework not as its own entity. We have to see it as a responsibility, right? And something that is part of the general flow of their day. From that perspective, we can start to see our kids start to manage something far greater than just homework, right? Because we're trying to build independent young men and women that are not only independent in managing their affairs, meeting your expectations and theirs, but accountable in that process. Because isn't that true growth, right? When you not only embrace the independence of the life you live and the responsibilities you have, but you also embrace the accountability that goes with it. And that's really why homework becomes such a big conversation. It is their primary responsibility. It is their primary commitment every single day between the hours of 3 and 10. And that's why we're here tonight, is because of that. But let's not just focus on that, because because if we do, we're not looking at the other areas that we can be using to build deficits and to build skills.